And right now we'll be talking about, you know, the DNA test and infidelities in marriages that has been trending, you know, for the longest time. So a DNA relationship test is the use of genetic profiles to determine whether an individual is the biological parent of another individual. Smart DNA, a leading DNA testing center based in Lagos, Nigeria, has released a comprehensive data analysis of all relationship DNA tests conducted in its facility between July 1st, 2022 and June 30th, 2023. The Smart DNA report that was released on Tuesday, September 12, 2023, based on thousands of users, you know, provides an unusual insight into the DNA testing trends across Nigeria. And it showed that 73.88% were positive, while 26.12% are negative. On geographical spread, the report showed that Lagos has accounted for the highest percentage of tests with 82.89% of the total. You know, this is followed by Oyo, who has 3.29%, Ogun 3.7%, FCT 2.63%, and Rivers 2.41%. The year 2021, you know, witnessed a series of shocking unfolding events that threw many Nigerian men into the dilemma of either confirming the paternity of their ward or leaving the sleeping dog lie. You know, the major events fueled by social media brought about new calls for the DNA testing. I mean, I'm talking about the events of the OAP Nedu, who actually had, you know, issues with his wife, and it showed that his children, the two wards that he have, are not really his. And there was also the, I think, ex-managing director of FCMB that also had an issue like that, of people accusing him of fathering a child or two kids with someone else's wife, which was a very, you know, big situation at that particular time. And this is one of the things that actually fueled people to do not want to have peace of mind by just testing it. But the numbers are alarming of people, you know, going to get DNA tests, you know, wanting to know the paternity of their children in this day and age, Fatih. I mean, it's really scary. People's first thought is, okay, I need to check if this child is mine. Why is that? The level of trust is...
Yeah,
you know,
so
it
actually starts with the level of trust, like you just said. You know, there are some signs that you could actually see to make you have doubts. Maybe there are some issues that might have played out between you and your partner, and then you begin to doubt, is this child really mine? In the case of cheating, for example, you keep catching, you know, getting caught cheating, be it the man, be it the woman, there will be a room for suspicions. There will be room for distrust. So in situations like that, you actually find people beginning to feel like, okay, they'll start having nightmares. Are these kids really mine? Do I need to check? Do I need to really find out if these kids are actually mine by biological children or not?
A very, you know, tedious situation there. But anyways, our reporter, Hamid Oyegbade, you know, did a package on this particular situation, you know, to actually show us what people think about this and the rate of people taking DNA test. Take a look.
Many believe that only the mother knows the father of our children. Mostly, the men rely only on the physical resemblance as the main determinant of paternity. However, when a man begins to suspect his wife of fidelity, he would go extra mile to ascertain the paternity of their children.
She left my place. After a few months, she came back telling me she had gotten pregnant for me. Okay. At a point, I didn't deny accepting the pregnancy. So he left again after I told her to even come with evidences that I was the real owner of the pregnancy. She said I should just be sending her money or money. Why will I be sending you money without having the evidence that you actually got pregnant for me? So at a point, she went away.
That it's better you say the truth at the right time to avoid stories that touches, because when the paternity test is finally done and it is realized that the child is not for the man, there's no no story that you are going to be presenting that it will be accepted from you.
That's the only way you can really prove, if this child is yours and this child is yours. And it shouldn't be limited to issues of paternity. You get me? There are so many, there are so many things you can discover concerning yourself when it has to do with DNA testing.
In Nigeria, recently, there's a study that was done by DNA laboratory or DNA testing center that says about 73%, only about 73%, well, only 73% of cases of paternity dispute turned out that the father is the real owner of the kids. So that means basically you are saying about 25%. That's like 1 out of 4 children.
Meanwhile, the idea of running DNA tests is seen as a good thing as it helps in resolving paternity controversies. Amid Oyegbade, Trust TV News, Oshogbo.
That was Hamid Oyebade on the details. And there's a situation where we even saw women saying, no, if you want to have peace of mind, you just have to, have that test, which is really scary. I mean, we've seen situations where people from Lagos are saying women in Lagos or men in just married couple in Lagos cheat way more than the single ones. And it is really alarming, and it proves, the results saying that almost 80-something% of people that do DNA tests are in Lagos State, which is a really, alarming number. I mean, the trust in marriages is really failing, which is really sad. But anyways, we are opening, our full line to hear from you on your thoughts of infidelity and DNA paternity tests and how to curb this particular situation in our society. So you can call the number on your screen to, share your opinion, your thoughts on how to manage this particular situation that is already eating deep, in the society. I mean, marriages used to be a forever thing, but right now in Nigeria, we're seeing marriages as it doesn't last.
Yeah,
it just doesn't last. So please go ahead, call us, and you can send us your WhatsApp messages via our same line. And make sure if you're sending your messages, you also include your name and where you're calling from. And if you're calling us, please do stay away from your TV set or turn down the volume of your TV so we can hear from you properly on this particular issue, because we need to dissect this societal issue that is eating deep and it's becoming more worse and rampant. So please go ahead and call us and give us the details of it. Fatih, I don't know if you've had situations where you've seen stories of how a woman cheats on her man and a man cheats on the woman. But mainly, when it says DNA test, it involves the man because the woman is the one carrying the child. And
there's the saying that they said the woman always knows the father of her child is. So you can't take that away from women. They know they could decide to throw you under the bus to just see you go through whatever. Sometimes especially if maybe the partner is unbearable, you just want to.
Indeed. All right, we have a caller here. Good morning.
Hello.
Yes, good morning. Your name and location, please.
Good morning. My name is Abubakar. Calling from Khan.
Okay. Thank you for joining us, Abubakar. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Hello.
Please, can you turn down the volume of your TV set? We can actually hear ourselves through your phone. Are you with us? All right, we lost Abubakar from Kano. Please go ahead and call us with your thoughts, and please turn down the volume of your TV set so that we can hear you properly. I mean, you don't need to hear us through your TV, but through the phone.
Yes. So I was saying, sometimes when your partner is always cheating, I've come across women that just want to tease their husbands and say, oh, this child is not even your own because they're having issues, just to hurt them. But in real sense, they're actually just trying to pay back for what they've done. So you can find situations like that. But at this point, with the reports that we just watched and what is happening, actually, if you ask me, I actually felt like this is more of a story that comes from, outside the country, abroad, because the infidelity, the DNA thing is just...
we thought it won't happen in Nigeria. All right, we have a caller. Good morning. Good morning. Can you hear us? Are you with us?
Okay,
All right, we lost that
caller.
caller. Please go ahead and call us. You know, don't be discouraged. Send us WhatsApp message that we can be able to pick or read your message out.
Yeah.
I mean, you were mentioning that you thought it was just something you hear.
You know, it's
from
the
abroad.
mentality. There's a way I see Nigerians. Like, I just feel okay. The divorce rate is the divorce rate is high. Yes, I know. Maybe because people are not compatible and what have you. But then, you know, when it comes to infidelity, yes, we know it happens with married women, married men. Anything a man does is style.
Yeah,
it's fashion. So you as a woman, you shouldn't be doing things that men do.
All right. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, thank you for joining us on Daybreak Extra. Your name and location, please.
My name is. Sorry, my name is Ajay Berosat. I'm calling from Warri Delta State.
Okay.
Delta State.
Gabriel, thank you for joining us. Please go ahead with your thoughts.
Hello.
Please stay away from your TV. Just talk to us through the phone. Go ahead with your thoughts.
All right. Thank you very much. You can hear me now?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah. Thank you. I really do appreciate your programs, and I can see that you people are really doing a very good job, and I pray that God will bless you for your good job. God will bless you for your good job.
Amen. Thank you, Gabriel.
Yeah.
Okay, so we lost Gabriel. I was hoping, you know, for us to hear your thoughts on the topic today, because he mentioned he's from Delta.
Yes,
and so we want to hear from that particular, you know, angle. What's your take on what is happening? If you've had stories, you know, someone close to you with that particular situation.
I feel he was getting ready to get into the conversation to tell us what he woke up with this morning, seeing the paternity and what have you. So, but then while we wait for his call, let's dive into the discussion, because it's interesting.
Indeed.
You know, so I was actually saying,
all right, we have another caller there. Good morning. Good morning. Are you with us?
Hello.
Yes. Hello. Good morning. Your name and location, please.
I'm calling from Mina.
From Mina?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for joining us. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Okay. I really appreciate this program.
Thank you.
Mostly this topic. Hello?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead. Are you still with us?
I think we've lost that call.
Okay, please go ahead.
Seems like the network is
Indeed.
a bit...
and this is a really important topic that we need to talk about. So please go ahead and call.
I hope it's not
and if
the
you've been
electricity.
trying... No, I don't think it's electricity.
You don't know. Maybe the area where these people are calling, electricity and network may be working hand in hand.
All right, we have another caller. Good morning. Okay, please keep trying, you know, to call us and send us messages that we'll be able to read out your message. Do not forget to include your name and location. On your thoughts on the paternity test, you know, percentage that has risen in the country, you know, of recent. And you remember that Nadu saga, though?
Yes, I do.
And people
you know, he still talks about them. He loves them.
Of course.
Regardless, the finding out they are not his kids, he still has feelings. He's a father. You know, he raised them to a certain age before he was able to find out they are not his kids. And I could just imagine how heartbreaking that could be. And, you know, being a personality also, his story was out there. It's not like other people's stories that are hidden. You have to maybe, you know, find a way. Stories that we hear from people that we know. Because I can remember there are actually situations like that I've seen, that it has happened to people that I know that are close, you know, that maybe they will find out the husband has a child with the sisters, with husband's sister, or one thing or the other. And you'll be wondering, how can your husband now come and be dating your younger sister, which is totally...
How did we get there? I mean, how did we get to this particular situation? Africa is known for commitment.
Yes.
I mean, for resilience. There is this belief that an African woman can stay in a hated or angry marriage for a long time.
Yes.
So what happened? All right, we have another caller. Good morning.
Hello?
Yes, good morning. Thank you for joining us. Your name and location, please. Good morning. Are you with us? All right, we lost that caller. Please continue to try to call us. We don't know what's happening. Perhaps the network is just affecting this particular situation, but we would want to hear from you. So do not give up. Keep trying, you know.
Or do send us a message on WhatsApp.
Yes, that will be easy to read. I mean, hopefully we get to see your messages.
Yeah.
So you know, Nedu's situation brought a lot of people to have doubts, and people saw him, you know, through that light. We've seen him have his own podcast, but then each time he opens his mouth to talk about women, there is so much, you know,
resentment.
Hate, yes, not you know, not trusting of that particular
because
of the gender.
He is in the situation. Yes.
Yeah, we have another caller. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, please. Calling from Maiduguri. What's your name?
My name is Imam.
Okay, Imam. Thank you for joining us. So go ahead with your thoughts.
Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. Go ahead with your thoughts, please, on the
My
topic
name is
today.
Ibrahim.
Please stay away from your TV set and just talk to us through the phone.
Yeah, my own case is that I just want to tell you that some DNA tests that they are covering. Hello?
Yes, of course. Go ahead.
Yeah, the problem that we have here in Maiduguri, the child that you have born with your wife or some category of reason, the nurses and the doctors, they will change your child. And after all, just because of money, they have discussed with one way or the other with someone like a man or woman or something like that, baby boy or baby girl that they need. But they will change your daughter or boy that they will give to someone. And after all, before you go to hospital and you have a test that you are a photo of your child, you have already known that you have a boy, then you're going to born a boy, a baby boy. But when you born, after some minutes, they will exchange your daughter or something like that.
Well, that's another angle to look at it. I mean, we've seen a lot of people fall victim where sometimes the family might think it was the woman actually had an affair with someone else, instead of thinking the nurses might have changed the child.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Imam, for that amazing contribution there from Maiduguri. Interesting.
Imam,
yes,
he actually
gave another
gave
angle
insight.
to it.
Different angle.
We
to
all
the
know
whole
that
thing.
you know there are people that actually fell victim. You know, women fell victim to that kind of accusations. Yes, and even though you know the test that the Smart DNA clinic, you know, the report, that they actually brought out said that you know there's a lot of percentage being done, but in that percent, 80 something are people that are positive, you know, and then there is the two that are negative. So that means
let's not also forget
peace of
let's
mind.
not also forget that test results could be negative as well. It could, you may carry out a DNA test and it will come out negative. There can be some, you know, mistakes from the clinic as well.
Yeah, it could be. Sometimes it happens. I mean, due to the carelessness of the clinic, which is something that they need to, you know, work on to do best, because this kind of situations tend to ruin marriages, and by the time they've realized it, it's too late.
Actually, I feel people, when you want to go for a DNA test, right? Like, you have to be mentally prepared because you're going to have two answers, positive and negative. How prepared are you to take that?
It's
would
like
you really want
for
to
any, you know, disease test, you know, and you're that scared of what would happen.
Especially a lot of people just there are some tests that, you know, when you go to the hospital and they tell you it's free, your heart will be doing boo 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 because you're scared to actually go for that test. Not because you don't know your status, but then you're scared. And it's okay for people to be scared. So I feel when people want to go for DNA tests, as much as you want to find out if those kids are yours, you have to be mentally prepared because you're going to lose your family at the end of the day.
It's the reason why some people don't actually
want to even go for it.
There is that fear of, can I be or will I be able to take it if the result comes out negative? So there is that fear. People tend to shy away from it. But as much as, we want to make excuses for other people who actually face that circumstances, there are also people that are doing, having infidelities in their marriage is something that we cannot deny. All right, we have another caller. Good morning.
I think I have another caller.
Good morning. Are you with us?
Good morning. Good morning, Ma.
Yes. Thank you for joining us. Your name and location, please.
I called before from Delta. I called before from Delta State.
Okay, Gabriel.
Yes.
Okay,
thank you very much.
All right, go ahead.
As I said before, I really appreciate your works.
Thank you.
God bless you.
Amen.
And the issue of DNA test, I think is advisable. It's really, really advisable because I have a cousin that based abroad. Something happened some time ago, many years ago, when my uncle denied the child that he's not the father of the child, he's not the biological father of the child. But after many years, the lady called me and we discussed about it. It was the DNA test that proved that the child is my uncle is the biological father of the child. So
he is the biological father.
Yes, she's the biological father.
Oh wow.
He's the biological father, yes. So since that time, I know there is something really good about the DNA test. It's really good. And there's one family around me here in Delta State, which along the latter 4 children, the woman told the man that the man is not the biological father of the children. The man have no choice. He has to kill the 4 children, and the man ran for their life. So I think the DNA test is really something good. If you know you don't trust the man or the woman you have and the children, you have to go for the DNA test. It's really advisable. Thank you very much, ma'am.
All right, thank you so much, Gabriel, for that contribution there. Okay. I mean, he mentioned that sometimes it is a good thing, because it clarifies any rumor. I mean, we know how sometimes people will just create malicious rumor and say, the woman you're with, Seth, she's cheating on you and the child is not yours. So if you don't take that test, then there would be an issue.
And just like you said, especially if it's coming from, let's say, neighbors that talk, that gossip, they can see what is happening sometimes. When the husband is not at home or when the wife is not at home, some things are going on in the area and their eyes are there. Indeed. So if you find your neighbor telling you, see this one, the children are not even your own, you want that alone will hit you. It messes up with you, and then you want to go out of your way to see that, okay, let me find a way to catch, is my wife really cheating? Is my husband really cheating? And before you know, you forget yourself, trying to find out the answers to your questions. And then one would now tend to do the unwanted behavior.
True. But let's not forget, Fati, even at that, the level of infidelity in Nigeria has risen, which is really alarming. I mean, we've seen people, even though sometimes they just drop it on social media as a joke, but people would be like, yes, since men can cheat, I mean, a woman is doing it now. Because I think I saw 2 to 3 posts of a man crying out to say, my wife is cheating on me. And then everybody will be like, then the women will come under the post and say, Oga, go and cry and rest. After all, men have been doing it for a long time.
But that's why I said earlier, if you remember, I said whatever a man does is fashion, right?
But is it though? It's
told
what
like
the
that
society has made it to be, but it doesn't make it any less wrong.
But there are certain things that women shouldn't do because men are doing. You're not equal. There are things that men can do that you don't have to do.
I don't really agree with you. I just feel you don't cover bad with bad. Do you get?
Okay, so now let me give you an example when I mean there are things that women cannot do.
What I'm saying is, I feel like you're giving the men the free pass to do certain things because the society has already painted it that way, saying that a man can go ahead and do whatever, and when a woman does it, then her own is like, oh, it's so more alarming. But 2 wrongs can make a right. Yes, if the man does it, he is wrong on every level, but it doesn't mean the woman should also do it in order to get even. I mean, that's my thoughts on that particular situation. I do not believe that women should go out and do that kind of particular situation because it ends up hurting them. The women are the one that can conceive.
We are going to come back to this conversation, Sumaya, because you are not going to cut me short of what I'm going to say. And I'm not supporting men. I just feel there are certain things that women should not do because men are doing. So, for example, let's say you catch your man cheating. Should the payback be you going out to cheat?
That's why I said two wrongs cannot make a right.
So that's what I mean when I said
I just don't
there
like
are certain things.
I just don't like the phrase of
we don't always have to agree on certain things, So we both have our opinions. But I just feel why I'm saying that is because I've seen where a woman is, always patient. Her husband is always cheating, and she's always forgiving. She's always willing to work on the relationship. And she gets to a certain point where she feels, okay, let me also do what he's doing. Let him feel what I'm feeling. Do you understand? So I just feel there's no need for that. You could actually just maybe walk away work out of the relationship for your own. Yeah, exactly. If it's not working, don't do what he did. Because you are going to be a sinner like him, So that's what I mean. Like, women shouldn't do what men are doing. You don't need to pay back. Well, I know you're just listening to me at this point.
No,
we are going to have this banter. Well, let's take a look at some WhatsApp messages from this is coming from Shehu Zelani from Bauchi. He said, "Good morning. Women may not always know the father of their babies, especially in situations where the woman engaged in affairs with multiple men. 2, not all laboratory tests are accurate, including the DNA test. There is what scientists called false positive results." So you see, this person is also mentioning about the false. Yeah. A situation where a test is negative, but the result may show a positive result. What if the DNA test is a false positive one? That's a question. 3, the best thing to do is to please ignore the DNA test for couples, and probably we may live a peaceful life. Shehu Zailani from Bauchi.
Zailani is the one that believes in the let the sleeping dog
lies. Exactly. But he's making a sense, actually. I said it, like, if you actually want to go for the DNA test, you have to be mentally prepared. You have to be mentally prepared. Why? Because you're going to have 2 answers. It's either it's going to be, oh yes, it's your child, or no, it's not your child. You're going to break down. Just what Gabriel just said now. Imagine this man finding out 4 of the kids that he raised are not his children, 4, and he ran mad.
4.
Do you know how it has affected him? How bad it must have hit him?
Of course.
Being a man, there's a pride that comes. There's a pride that comes for a man knowing that these are my kids. When he looks and he says, "These are my kids," there's this pride that it comes with it. And then you're finding out that they are not your kids. Good morning, ladies. My name is Aliu from Jos. The topic of discussion is really interesting because, to be honest with you, men have been raising children belonging to others. The issue is not of insecurity from the husband. Rather, it's as a result of red flags flown by the wife in question. And on the other case, there has been cases where child switch takes place at point of birth, either by accident or intentionally. By and large, if every man will take a DNA test, the percentage will go way higher than what is given now.
You just decided to shake this table, Aliu.
No, Aliu, me, I like it too.
we were trying not to really break the table, but he came and broke it.
No, he didn't break anything. He didn't break anything. Aliu is making a point.
Suggested, yeah, truly, but and based on research, it shows that majority of DNA test results shows that usually the firstborn of the family is not really the husband's, because the woman comes into the marriage with a pregnancy of someone else. So there is that. There is that fear of.
I still want to say what?
And yes, and I've seen situations where sometimes when people go for counseling, religious counseling before marriage, one of the things they're expected to do is to have a pregnancy test done to make sure that she is not, because I know from both religion, you're not supposed to get married, while pregnant. So there is that particular situation. So Aliu is saying, let's check it out and see what really
We are
happens.
going to come back to this one that you just said, but let's take another message. Good morning. I am Jide from Maiduguri. It's advisable to go for DNA test because this thing happened in my area where a man said his wife is cheating on him and their daughter is not her father. So they went for a DNA test, and truly the daughter is not his own, so he divorced her.
Oh, that's a really sad situation.
So now the woman that is actually telling the man that the daughter is not yours, just like we said.
Yeah.
There are times that, you know, out of anger, you could actually say the truth.
And sometimes maybe out of regret, you know.
Exactly.
You could say
and then
that.
it's possible that, you know, you've been keeping the secret
and it's
for a very long time, and you're just looking for the slightest opportunity to just, you know, just let it out, so you could have the guilt you're feeling could just, you know, kind of lessen on you. So I feel there are times that people will actually say the truth when they are angry or guilty conscious, like you said, or out of regret. There's a possibility. There's a story I was watching that a girl actually slept with her friend's husband and she got pregnant, but they were drunk.
So there was a situation of, but is that? Oh,
so my point, should I say that? No, it's not. But can that happen to people also?
Yeah, a lot of people happen where they will be regret and they will keep asking. But you shouldn't even put yourself in a position that you do something
be vulnerable.
Regret. Yes. So don't even put yourself in that position at all.
Okay, so let's take another message. Good morning, Joshua, texting from Inewi, Anambra. We must learn how to do this. I believe that reasons for all these marriage issues is because of too much relationship and dating. There is no way it will be easy for someone that eats different types of food a day will focus on one. There will be no trust. Jumping from one man to another, from one woman to another, how can such a person cope? Now that's a question Joshua is asking. How can a person cope from this kind of behavior?
So Joshua is
I feel Joshua is trying to say, for example, if you sleep, or should I say you engage in multiple partners and you still get married, what's the assurance that you can actually
be okay with it? I mean,
you
it's one of the points that
and be with one person.
Yeah, it's one of the points that the religious leaders have actually put out there, saying that one of the reasons God does not want premarital, you know, sex or sexual relationship is because you get so used to, say, different people, and then when you get in there, you're not satisfied with what you have, which should actually be a problem. But when you don't have any experience at all, then you have to deal with what you have. I mean, you have nothing else to compare it with. So I get where Joshua is coming from.
This reminded me of, you know, our culture and norms are guiding us. There are certain things, like I said, that you cannot do. So there's this, should I say, preaching that I was listening to one particular time that said, when you engage in multiple sex activities with different people, there's an oath.
Yeah, it's like a covenant.
It says there's a possibility that this person is cursed and you got involved with the person. It could affect you.
It could rub off
I don't know how true that is, but when people tend to understand that, okay, I shouldn't be everywhere. Do you understand? I shouldn't be everywhere. If you're ready to get married, get married. If you're not ready, keep yourself, abstain. I think that saves it for you, the stress of, you know, going through.
Let's not forget, let me shake this table.
You want to shake table now. When you said Aliu is shaking table, you said Aliu was shaking table.
All right, before then, I think we should pick this message here.
Okay, you're doing a nice program there. I suggest governments to make DNA affordable because many are nursing children from another blood. For the test being expensive, parents from rural areas and poor families can't afford it. Make it affordable and you will be surprised what will come out of it. Ephraim from Kaduna.
Ephraim is actually supporting Aliyu now, saying there should be more
you are saying that they are shaking table, but they are making sense.
All right, so let's not give a pass to, you know, women who actually are materialistic, you know, people who love, because sometimes you're married to this man whom you tell yourself that I'm in love with, but then after a while you turn out to not be really satisfied with him, maybe financially, or you just start opening your eyes to things out there. And
I want to shake small table.
Before you know it, you start finding your husband not so attractive, and you're having.
Okay, I want to shake table small.
Well, hold on, before you the table shakes, we have a caller. Good morning.
Hello.
Yeah, good morning. Thank you for joining us. Your name and location, please.
Hello.
We can hear you. Your name and location, please.
I am calling from Kano. I want to contribute to the program.
Okay. Thank you for calling in. Go ahead.
My name is Femi, and I'm calling from Kano.
Okay, sir.
My name is Femi, and I'm calling from Kano.
Go ahead.
You see, this DNA issue you people are talking about, me, I feel strongly looking at the way and manner in which marriage is conceived, I do not really think if both parties are really sincere from the beginning, from where they started courting, and until they got to the extent to which they got married. If there's sincerity, I do not think there will be any real relevance to begin to question the paternity of the child. Me, for instance, if maybe eventually I get to find out that, okay, my wife has a child for another person, I don't need to make it a big deal. I don't need to begin to tell the whole world. I have already started taking care of the child. So why not just continue? Why make it a big deal to begin to scatter my house? After all, some people get to find out maybe when the child is 13 or 14, and then you want to say you want to now drive the child. You have to also think about the psychological effect it will have on that child. So I just feel we shouldn't make it a big deal. We are in Africa. Those in the Western world can do what they feel they want to do, but it is not in our own culture and tradition to begin to act like them. That's my own contribution. Thank you.
Thank you so much for calling with that contribution there. We're having someone that is saying, let's not push this DNA thing, you know. And
because a lot of people can't handle the truth, the result.
Yeah, but his point from where he's coming from, he's saying that there should be a level of trust, you know, for you to even know that. But what in that point I wanted to ask was, people change too.
Exactly.
You know, sometimes
change
people
is constant.
change.
That's the one thing that people that happens.
Yes,
you know,
and some people, yeah, they go for this DNA test based on the stories they've heard. Some is based on maybe people around them. A friend discovered he's not the father of the child, and then it gets someone bothered. While others are just doing it for peace of mind. While some, like you mentioned earlier, might have been seeing signs, you know, from their partner of, could be this person is hiding something. A bit of infidelity and all that.
Like you said, over time, you know, there's one thing I know for sure, that even love fades.
True.
So no matter how much you trust a person, there are people that don't forgive when you break their trust. True. When you trust them, when they trust you with everything they've got, and then you do something, just a little something that, you know, maybe could actually make them to think that, okay, can I actually trust this person? Then that's it. No matter how much you try to amend it, it may not go back to the way it is. And then that's, like I said, that's at the point where people begin to like, okay, I'm having doubts. How sure am I this is? And that's why I strongly mentioned cheating. When you constantly keep catching your spouse or your partner cheating continuously, you definitely have doubts whether you like it or not. Whether you want to trust the person or not. So it's a big deal for some people. It's a big deal for me.
I mean, I'm thinking continuously, especially for married couple. I don't think any man would catch his wife cheating once and then forgive her. So there's even no room.
But you know, at the same time, you remember I was saying I want to shake the table small. I've seen situations where the family would pin a child on the person that the girl is going to marry.
Yes,
you know that has happened on different occasions, but it's just that maybe the girl may be feeling guilty after time, like afterwards. You know, just a little time, you begin to feel like, okay, this person is being nice to me. He never doubts me, but then there's a big secret I'm hiding. There are people I know that the first child, this man is flaunting this girl, posting, doing everything, but he doesn't know that she's not his child.
True. I mean, that's what the statistics has even
shown.
Do you
understand?
You know,
so yeah,
it has shown that particular numbers. I mean,
okay, so let's take some messages from WhatsApp. I'm liking this. There's tons of messages that I know we may not be able to take. Oh, the issue of DNA test is actually scary, but I think it will work for couples who want to settle disagreements of infidelity. However, Islam is clear about that. Once you are the husband, the children are automatically yours to keep just to keep peace. Abubakar Mahmoud Bida from Niger State.
Thank you, Abubakar, for that wonderful message there. Yeah, he made a point.
Going back to the same thing we are just saying. So if you are suspecting your partner,
and we know in marriage it's not okay for you to suspect your partner. You know, when the trust
once
is broken,
you start having that little accusations or doubt, that's
so
it.
Just in order to just kill that particular thing, it's better you just go
another message. Good morning. My name is Daniel from Akwa Anambra State. DNA test is not necessary because of the negative impact it has on the children, realizing that their mother is not most carelessly is the most is the most carelessly woman on earth, and the man they have ever lived to be their father is not.
Yeah, we've forgotten that particular angle of how much, the DNA battle and issue affects the children.
Just like in the case of divorce.
Grown up, yes, if they're grown up, they get to see this thing and it breaks their heart. And people start slipping into depression on this matter. If they're young, they definitely will notice how the father would change instantly from being the loving father they are. And even though if the man is, a more patient, a tolerant man, but he's human. So at the beginning of the whole news, unraveling, there will definitely be a difference how he would react to this particular kid.
Yeah.
So that's another, angle there.
Okay, so we have another message. Good morning. Kems from Kano.
His Kamis.
Is it Kamis?
Yes, that's Kamis.
Oh, Kamis. How is it?
Yeah.
Kamis from Kano. You see, as far as Islamic marriage is concerned, once a wife gets pregnant within the prescribed period, then DNA is prohibited and cannot be used to determine the paternity of a child. You can only resort to what is called lian, and there is a lot of wisdom in that. The topic is broad, but here is my little contribution. Thank you very much, Kamis.
Thank you so much, Kamis. Yes, he actually
I would have spelled
mentioned
it.
He said Leanne, and he made the point of saying that at the end of the day, the DNA might be wrong. So when you rely on that, we've mentioned situation of 1 minute you're thinking the child is yours, the next minute it's not yours, and after maybe you've cut ties with that child and the mother, then after a while another DNA test has been taken and it will come back that the child is yours, and there is so much regret happening. So even if or when you decide you want to take a DNA test, please make sure you do it multiple times, as often as you can, just to clarify from different clinic, of course. All right, we have more messages right here.
Good morning. I'm calling from Maiduguri. It happens to my neighbor. Someone impregnated his daughter and attempted to abort it. In the process, the daughter informed her father. The father reported to police after the guy accepted that he will pay 10,000 monthly for upkeep to the time she delivers. After she gave birth, the guy said he will go for a DNA test.
Well, it's something to definitely bring doubt. I mean, you feel if someone can have a sexual relationship with me, then it's possible she's having with others. So it brings doubt. So
another thing that we are not actually looking at or to think of, what's actually prompting people to actually even cheat?
Yeah, that's
what pushes them. It's okay. So if you feel the love is not there, you feel this person you're tired of, just walk out of the relationship. I think that would save a whole lot of, the DNA test, the doubt, the infidelity rates and what have you, because you're not finding this person attractive anymore to want to be with the person. Then leave the relationship. In as much as we know Islamically is prohibited for you to ask for divorce for a woman. But then in a situation where it's not working, both of you can have a consensual agreement and discuss.
True. All right, so we have another caller. Good morning. Good morning. Are you with us? Oh my God, we seem to, lose a lot of people on comments. I
told you it's electricity and network. Please combine.
From you on
you
that
don't want to believe.
All right. So earlier you were talking about, communication, which is the truth. I mean, nobody should leave their marriage just like that. I mean, that's the difference between this generation and the previous generation. You sit down and talk it out. If there is something that your partner is doing that you don't like, call that person out and tell them, I'm starting to lose interest. So work on this particular spin so that at least I will still find you attractive. I will still trust you. I will still be with you. So when that communication gap keeps increasing, then there's an issue. But when you find out that you have started looking elsewhere outside your marriage, especially for the women, please walk away.
This you just said, I was having a discussion with my aunt one day and she was telling me about some certain things she's going through, because these are stories of people that we know it has happened, either your family, your friend, it could have happened to someone but this is actually coming. And we're having this discussion with her and I told her, I said, like I said earlier, I know love fades, right? If for any reason I find myself in a situation, remember one time I mentioned, I think when we were discussing issues that has to do with marriage, you know, the parents choosing spouse and what have you. If for any reason I begin to feel like my mind is not in that marriage,
you walk away.
To be honest to myself, not to lead you, not to be a sinner.
Yes,
I would actually tell you,
adultery
for us
is a huge sin. You know, adultery is a huge sin. You are married. Anything that you want to do, I just say I'm not even, but at least, you know, while you're single, it could be a pass. But
so you're married, your blood is what?
So please, we shouldn't even put ourselves in that position. And most times you can't blame, you know, the number of people coming out to want to have the DNA test. You know, there's been a lot of reasons. It's not all bad. It doesn't all come down to cheating and all that. But situation leads to particular, to that particular decision. And, you know, like I said, 2021, what trended was what actually shook the table for men
from
Nigeria's
issue. I'm Jude from Enugu. What's wrong with these ladies? They got all the love and still choose to sleep out. DNA tests should continue so that these unfaithful ladies will be dumped at home. They don't deserve love. This is putting men in psychopathic imbalance.
Yeah, we feel you, Jude, on that one. But it's not all the women that are experiencing love, just so we know. I mean, some men don't really give love, and they make the women look elsewhere. As much as we want to blame the women, sometimes the men play the part as well. So, yes, it's both ways. But then definitely, when you're married, you know, you should know that your decision would affect the other person. And something like cheating and breathing a baby that is not your spouse can really destroy someone's mental health, someone's level of, you know, trust in themselves. There's this word I'm looking for, and I'm lost, you know, with that particular word. But then anyways, we have more messages this morning coming in.
Science are just rediscovering what Allah said in the glorious Quran long ago. According to Islam and the glorious Quran, if mankind go after the issue of DNA test and infidelity in marriage, it will definitely destroy marriages, and a lot of children will turn out not being the husband's own.
So living this, let the sleeping dog lie is the best situation.
So there's a, you know, there's a situation still. Someone called me one fateful morning. I was crying. I was trying to ask what happened, and she was trying to tell me her husband hasn't been close to her for 2 years. Imagine being in the man's husband. Imagine being in the man's house, your husband's house, and he's not even paying attention to you. He doesn't come close to you. You have needs. You want his love, his affections, and all that, but you're not getting it.
So that it could actually your story contradicts Jude's or the one.
You know, So and the funny thing is, right? She actually got pregnant for someone even while she was still married with her husband, and the man she got pregnant for is also married.
Okay, I really yes, I think I've heard. Let me shake this table again. We've had a situation where, you know, married men says they want to have relationship with married women because when she gets pregnant, they can easily pin that child on the husband. I'm going to leave it at that, honestly.
Now, that's going to be a discussion for another day.
Yes, that is a really scary thing happening in our society. Really? And we hope that, you know, with this amount of at least awareness that we're trying to create, you stay away from doing that. Make sure you know that your decision affects lots of people. We're talking about the child and your spouse, your family. It's not just about yourself. So let's stop being selfish. And, you know, for people that just want to have it for peace of mind, please make sure that when you do it, you take another, you know, from a different clinic just to be safe, in order not to, you know, ignore or abandon your own child. And for people that let the sleeping dog lie, you're doing great. All right, this is all that we can take, you know, on phone calls and messages on today's episode of the DNA test and infidelity in marriage. For all of you that called, sent your messages, the ones that we couldn't read and the ones that we're able to read, the ones that we couldn't talk to because of the network issue, and the ones that we had to talk to. Thank you so much for your calling and your contribution. Make sure you stick with us. Next week, we'll be bringing you another important social topic that we'll be addressing.